Welcome to Visual Anthology. In this series of videos, we'll be covering the Bookfair module. This module is often used when you're going to be sending books out to an event where you'll then be tracking the items sold and items being returned back to the store, and then taking any tenders that you might have collected at such event. There's also what's called an off-site Bookfair module, or just an off-site module, that utilizes the Bookfair module along with a special add-on module. Right now, we'll only be talking about just the book fairs themselves. The offsite module will be dealt with in a separate set of videos. Overall, what you're trying to accomplish with using the Bookfair module is a place for you to record what titles you're sending, how many, and to what store, what school you're trying to send those items to. You're able to check out that book fair, indicating what copies or what quantities have gone out to this event. When you return back from the event, you're able to do a series of steps where you're recording things like how many are being returned back to the store or how many sold while they're out at the event. As you're working through and recording that information, you can do this in a variety of ways. You can use the scanner, the barcode scanner on your system, to scan in the items being returned, which will help automatically calculate what should have been sold. So if you sent 10 and you scan that 3 are being returned, then theoretically you sold 7. You also can do it by hand, and there's a few other options as well. We'll try to hit those along the way. But first, why don't we start with a real basic overview of the Bookfair module. I'd like to show you the section in the help system that as of version 5.16.058, if you go to the help menu and do help on the web, or just choose the help menu if you don't have internet access, this will bring up the help system that's built into the program, or it's the one that's on the website itself. And there's a couple of sections of information that you may want to refer to now and again. Under using the anthology, there's a couple of different options. When you're using the Bookfair module, you may want to be using a database of books such as Title Source, Ingram Companion, or even Bowker's product for books in print. This will allow you to fetch information into the system to actually add new inventory items that perhaps you don't already have in the system. And that's something you've probably already set up already just by using the system in general. In the Anthology Help System, you'll see there's the Sales menu under this Using the Visual Anthology menu. And under Sales, you'll see there is a section on book fairs. Here's the book fair overview. Some details on actually creating a book fair, which we'll show you in just a moment. And then on the return, coming back in and returning from a book fair. There are also some other options that you may need to be aware of, such as using the Pay In and Pay Out. If you're doing a book fair where you're collecting credit cards, the Bookfair module is really meant for recording 1 or 2 very large tenders, such as several $100s worth of checks collected. It's not meant to be able to record every single credit card that you've collected. That is better done by marking the fact that the book fair tenders that are due, the amounts that are due, are maybe done as an account sale, but you're going to go into the Pay-In module and record that you're taking a credit card and actually put the card number in there, unless you've opted to use this extra offline module, which will handle that information for you as well. But there's quite a bit of in book fairs. We'll go through some of the detail in these videos, but you may want to familiarize yourself with the manual as well. So, basically, when you're doing a book fair, you'll go to your Sales menu and go to Book Fairs. You're going to see that this Book Fairs screen is laid out somewhat similar to a purchase order or customer order, in which you have a List tab, which shows you all of the active book fairs you have going on. You have the Header tab, which for the particular record I've selected on in the grid, the header shows you specific information about that customer, about that school or organization that you're going to be doing this event with. So here's my customer, Jay Buffington. He's a local tax, a residential person, a local person, so they've got their normal tax rate. He does not get any kind of special discount. I don't have any special terms with him. And I'm more concerned in this case of seeing how much dollar amount is due, at least early on how many quantities I send. Because in theory, they're responsible for that dollar amount. At least that's the way my store has decided to operate. You can say that normally you're more concerned with how many are actually sold, which is what they owe. But by default, this is the setting that we'll use. You're able to record what start and end date the event is going to be on. This is really just for your information. You're able to record if there's a different address for the books to go to other than the normal physical address for the drop-off. You're also able to put in a couple of notes in case you need to record that information. Now this document field is going to be printed onto any invoices you might print for them, and then the internal is really just for your own internal notes, so be sure to keep those two very, very separate. There's also the Details tab. This is where you're seeing the heart of the book fair, where all of the particular titles that you've marked that are either at this event or going to be going out to this event are going to show up. Right now I just have one title on this draft book fair that's going to be going out to Jay Buffington's event. Why don't we show you how to actually create a new book fair? It's really simple. All you do is F4 New from the List tab or from the Details tab, either way. It takes you to the Header tab. It wants you to fill in a customer. So I can click on the three-dot button, the Customer Assistant button, and bring up a list of all my existing customers. Or I can do F4 New and create a brand new customer on the fly. So let's maybe say this is for Garfield Schools, and that my contact person is Sally Johnson. So I'll just put her name in there, and we'll say that this is for Garfield School System. And I can put any other information in there that I might have at the moment, but that's good. We'll F10 to save it. That will take us back to the Customer Assistant, select that customer, and it'll take us right to the Header tab of the book fair with that information filled in. And perhaps I know that this event is coming up next weekend, so I'll fill that in just as a record of what was going on. And perhaps I need to remind my staff that these books should be delivered to the back door of the school. There we go. Don't forget to save your changes by doing F10. At this point, we're ready to start adding items to the book fair, and we'll do that in the next video.